What an amazing group of people. Not just the core cast, but like you mentioned with Jeffrey Boyer Chapman, the people that all got sucked into this thing who were joining a moving train of a franchise. You not everything had to be discovered and figured out the first time along. There was a lot of rules that were already set in place. It must have been a ride of your life.
It was amazing. It was such a special, I mean, I think I've said this multiple times, but it was one of the highlights of my career, and that started pretty early. So I can't be sure if I peaked when I was in my early 20s, but it's possible. If that's the case, I can live with it. But it was just such an exciting show to be a part of. It was such a massive show to be a part of. We had this built-in fan base. I think because the showrunners and producers were so trusted by MGM, they really let them have creative reign, Rob and Brad.
Mm-hmm.
And so they were able to make the kind of show that they wanted to make. Oftentimes in this industry, you have to make a lot of compromises. There's a lot of, especially when you're starting out. Once you're like a Taylor Sheridan, they're just like giving you money and they don't even like ask questions. But like, and Rob and Brad, because they'd had these two very successful shows under their belt, I think MGM and Sci-Fi just really trusted them to go and make the show that they wanted to make. So it was a pretty massive thing to be a part of, and we got to do so many cool things throughout both seasons. And then really fun things in conjunction with the show, which was like going to Comic-Con, getting to go to England to do cons, or Chicago, or, all over the world. And
there's a built-in fan base that just keeps on paying dividends.
Yeah, lots of perks came along with it.
Lots of mixed opinions, but
lots of mixed opinions.
It's never boring.
You can't please everybody.
No, it's true.
You can't please everybody. And I mean, I'm super proud of what we made. I know it was a departure from the style and tone of the previous incarnations, but I think upon reflection, I rewatched like the pilot, like Air, part 1 and 2. And there was part 3, right?
Yep.
Was there 3?
That's it. It is my favorite of the 3. And I'm going to be real with you. It's my favorite of the 3. And a number of the cast, Brian has been wonderful. David has been wonderful. But a lot of them just don't want to talk about it. And from my perspective, that's a real shame. Because you've been wonderful, Elena. But a lot of them have just been like, nah, I moved on to the next thing. And, I'm still trying, like with Jeffrey Boyer, I'm still trying my hardest. But like Louis Ferrer, I'd love to have. Jim Neal, I'd love to have on. And all you can do is ask,
Yeah, for sure.
To. Yeah, and hope that there's the right project that comes along that I can say, hey, let's talk about this and talk about that. And But speaking of MGM, speaking of orbits, MGM Plus, Earth Abides. Whew.
Have you read the book?
I've not read the book. I've just now downloaded it on Audible. Should I read the book first before watching the show, or can I do them both simultaneously?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I was reading the book while I was reading the first couple of episodes.
Okay.
And for me, it made things kind of blur, and I couldn't kind of separate which was which when I had to go to do the work. I was like, wait, was that in the book, or is that in the show? Okay. So I kind of think you pick a lane and you do one or the other, and then do the other thing after. I feel like often, right, what happens is if you're a fan of the book and you watch the thing, you're disappointed because you have these certain ideas or expectations, et cetera, coming into it. I think it's almost better for you to watch it not knowing,
right, and
then go back and read the book.
That's also how I did it with Harry Potter. I would go to the movie and then read the book because it was a more in-depth experience.
It's like a 500-page book, so it's going to take you a while. It's going to take you a while anyway. So the show will be over by the time you're finished that book.
Is it a limited series, or is this the first season of potentially more?
And I mean, it probably depends
Okay.
how it goes. Like, it was certainly the intention was a limited series, but who knows if it does well, it could be morphed into something, as we know that happens.
Okay.
Especially nowadays, there's things like Shogun. I think they did
Certainly true.
one season with the intention of just one season, and then it was such a
Squid
success
Game.
that they, yeah,
You know?
yeah.
So okay, so you guys are telling a complete story.
I guess I don't know what all I'm allowed to.
Okay, that's fair.
We are telling a large swath of the story. How about that?
Okay. What is the elevator pitch for this series? Now, I didn't just pick you at this time to randomly come back on and tell us about, a random show that you're working on. This is a genre show that
it's
is
sci-fi.
very
It's
yes,
sci-fi.
and very large scale, big ideas. Tell us about Earth Abides.
Oh boy. Well, Earth Abides is a post-apocalyptic story about a man named Ish Wood, who we all call Ish, who wakes up after sort of like a coma induced from a snake bite to discover that he is the last person alive. And the story is him reconnecting with the natural world, along the way finding other people, having an opportunity to begin again, but from a place that is more connected and in tune with the natural world. And I think the bigger thing about this series, especially today versus in 1948 when it was written, is what happens when everything that defines you as a human being is taken away from you.
Wow.
Who are you then without fame, without your lovers, without technology, without certain things that, cater to your identity?
All of our modern trappings.
All of our modern trappings are taken from you. Who are you? And who could you choose to become if you were given a second chance? It's a show about community and family and chosen family.
I'm hearing a lot of SGU in this answer. You noticing that?
Yeah, there are similarities to that, definitely. I mean, in this case, it's much smaller, right? Because it's like pretty much all of humanity has wiped from the planet. But I think what is really unique about this show, because we've seen the post-apocalyptic story before, it's been done many times. I think what sets this one apart is that the real through line is hope. It's optimistic. It's like a hopeful take on the end of the world. That makes sense.
I watched the trailer, and I'm going to be honest with you again. My first instinct was, ooh, too close. Too close. Too much time. Too soon. Too soon. Pandemic. Virus. And then the themes of hope and perseverance threaded through this trailer are like, oh, okay. This is not what, I'm thinking in terms of like Shelter in Place and all these movies that came out at the time. This is very different. Are you getting that impression as well?
100%.
Okay.
Like 100%. I also think like we need to tell this story while we're so close to it. Also, like we could go through something like that again. Like, who knows? We live in a very global world. That is possible. That threat is lingering at all times.
Thanks for watching this clip from Dial the Gate. You can find the full live stream shows on our YouTube channel or visit dialthegate.com for the complete schedule. See you on the other side.